NASCAR's 2024 silly season is in full swing, and while some of the loudest names found their homes for the upcoming season, it has opened up the door for some of the potentially most shocking moves ahead of us. With Denny Hamlin out of the market and Shane Van Gisbergen waiting to prove what cloth he is made of after his amazing debut in Chicago, there are around 8 drivers that are yet to find their home in 2024, each one more interesting than the other. So without further ado, let's go through how the silly season has unfolded so far and what impact it will have on the upcoming season. With just 8 weeks left in the current season, the majority of the Cup Series teams are set for 2024, but when it comes to the NASCAR world, you just cannot always be so sure, as there are some pieces that still need to fall into place. Everything started with Denny Hamlin announcing his commitment to JGR for a couple of years, shutting down all allegations that the sponsorship deal would see him witness the same fate as his former teammate, Kyle Busch, after 15 years of commitment and 2 championships with JGR. Legacy Motor Club has also made some moves in the past few months, as they have announced that John Hunter Nemechek will drive the number 42 Cup car next season. The 26-year-old driver will be back in the Cup Series after committing to a full season in the Xfinity Series with JGR and having quite solid results with the team. But apart from these 2 very optimistic sightings in the NASCAR world, Hamlin's teammate Martin Truex Jr. has also determined his own fate in the world of oval rings, and if there is one thing that he is famous for, it's procrastinating things for as long as he can. Last year, he made the decision to come back for 2023 in June, and while this year the announcement came a bit later in August, it does go to show that he is ready to win a championship with JGR, possibly even this year as well. Now, there are a couple of drivers that definitely have some hot seats beneath them, and 2 of those are Ryan Preece and Harrison Burton from Trackhouse Racing and Wood Brothers Racing. While they are heavily expected to sign an extension with their respective teams, we saw that the crash Preece anticipated could have had a massive toll on his confidence to drive a car in an oval ring, and while he did manage to get out of the crash safe and sound, it's something that will definitely haunt him for the rest of his career. Plus, we must add the highly anticipated fight between the 2 owners of SHR, Tony Stewart and Gene Haas, regarding the driving seat of Ryan Preece. It was the choice of Tony Stewart, who doesn't often make mistakes when it comes to picking talent, which is why Gene Haas didn't want to fight a lot on this matter. However, there are rumors that Preece didn't actually serve the goal he was brought for, which is why SHR could yet again elevate the case of Cole Custer from Xfinity to Cup Series, which would see him return to the seat that he used to own from 2020 to 2022, and the seat that he eventually lost to Preece. SHR does have a lot on their plate right now because, apart from the departing Kevin Harvick, who happens to be their best driver in the season, they are yet to announce the continuation of the collaboration with Eric Almirola, who has been rumored to retire from the sport, or his main sponsor, Smithfield, the company that is yet to continue with the funding of Almirola in the sport. Prior to 2022, Almirola announced that he would retire from the sport, only to be lured back by Smithfield, and now with them being reluctant about continuing their commitment with SHR, time will tell whether Custer will have a second shot at a career in the Cup Series. Kaulig Racing is also a team that has opened its doors to many drivers, with 2 of them holding the hottest spots in the team. It's safe to say that they have the potential to cause massive havoc in the NASCAR world. Justin Haley has already caused a massive stir with his signing with Rick Ware Racing, and while this has opened up the door for AJ Allmendinger to return in the Cup Series, the team is still not so sure about his abilities and is likely to keep him for at least 1 more season in the Xfinity competition. Allmendinger himself said that he will be committed to the team and that he will race full-time next year, but he is leaving it up to the commandership to choose which series that would be. This, however, has opened up the door for Daniel Hemrick, who did drive in the Cup Series back in 2019 and won the Xfinity title for JGR back in 2021. He is currently driving for Kaulig in the Xfinity Series and is also in the mix for inheriting Justin Haley's seat. And speaking about this matter, he went on to elaborate. "I feel like I'm twice the race car driver that I was in 2019 when I got the opportunity to run Cup the first time. We've been playing rebuild and catch up ever since. You try to leave your future open to anything. That's what I'm open to. I obviously am not going to put my hand down." But there is a strong opportunity that Kaulig might not want to experiment with their current setup of Xfinity drivers and go with somebody more experienced, such as Ty Dillon. While one of the most controversial drivers on the grid, Dillon is definitely the type of character that Kaulig needs in their garage, hence the relationship with Kaulig. Ty is currently driving for Spire Motorsports, and if he were to leave the team and join Kaulig Racing, then the top candidate for the vacant spot at Spire Motorsports would be Carson Hocevar, who is having more than a solid year in the Truck Series Championship. Another team that is yet to fill a driver spot for the upcoming season is Rick Ware Racing, as well as Live Fast Racing. And while Zane Smith was one of the favorites to sign with each of these teams, his move has come as an absolute shock in the current silly season as he signed a contract with Trackhouse Racing. Zane Smith is currently in one of his best seasons in the Truck Series, and it goes without saying that he does hold massive potential for the upcoming Cup Series season in 2024. Combined with the newly signed Shane Van Gisbergen, a lot of noise is expected to be made out of this team in the foreseeable future. Justin House, the owner of the team, made a very silent move and did expand his team to 3 cars in 2024, and all of them are signed with high prospects that are expected to deliver results straight off the bat. This move was definitely one that marked the growth of the team, and like Mark said, the goal is loud and clear to be a highly valued competitor in the upcoming season. Speaking about their latest signing, Zane Smith, Marks went on to say, "Expansion is something that has been important to us since we first got on the racetrack, getting to a place where we felt like we could be the most competitive organization as possible. Expansion can look a lot of different ways. Our alliance with Spire and the opportunity to have Zane drive over there next year gives us the ability to grow in 2024 to an organization where we can put 3 cars on the racetrack full-time in 2025 and beyond." Apart from the Cup Series, there seems to be a lot of noise around the Xfinity Series as well, where it's believed that Hailie Deegan could make a move amid her disappointing season in the Truck Series, as she is currently standing only 19th and has been dubbed the worst emerging driver in the NASCAR world. While spending her last 3 years in this category, it seems like they are not suiting her driving style, but while racing in the SRX, she did show that there is a lot of potential that is yet to be bruised. The question is there a team that would opt out for this high-risk, high-reward scenario and sign Deegan to the Xfinity Series? If she wants to make this move, it would have to be now, while she is riding on the momentum from the SRX. And while there are no obvious candidates for her right now, it seems like there will always be an interest in a driver that has a lot of potential and fame carrying around with herself. There are still a lot of moving pieces, and while we've covered the most interesting ones, you can never say that they are the final crumbles to this entire mess called silly season. With this in mind, we need to be expecting moves sooner rather than later, but nonetheless, the 2024 season is already promising a lot, especially with Shane Van Gisbergen and Zane Smith committing to a full-time driving spot on one of the most prospective teams on the grid.